We're so happy to have a relatively full complement of the media here today. So often we lament the fact that when bad things are going on in the community, the fourth estate is present and accounted for. And when we talk about the good things that we're doing together, the presence is not as strong. And I think each of you being here does show the requisite amount of responsibility that the fourth estate plays in helping shape our great democracy. We're all here today to show our support for the My Brother's Keeper initiative, I believe, and visionary effort being led by our President Barack Obama and supported by people in the public and private, nonprofit sector all across this country. The themes and the priorities articulated in the My Brother's Keeper initiative, fundamentally that every single person has value, that the challenges faced by young men of color in America are unique, and that the only way that we're going to solve those problems is by solving them together is just very real. They are themes that I've heard in conversations with the men and women behind me over the last several years in public life and in private life. It's so exciting to come together today at our My Brother's Keeper session. I'm here today because I believe in the American dream. I believe that here in the richest and most powerful nation in the history of the world, that any man or woman willing to work hard, willing to play by the rules, should be able to rise as far as their talent and ambition will carry them. I believe that this is one of the most fundamental principles upon which our great nation is built. It's a promise that we make to each and every one of our children. I believe in the American dream, and I believe it's my job as mayor of this great city to do everything within my power to provide that opportunity to all of our citizens, regardless of what they look like, where they live, what they know, who they know, what God they pray to, and what zip code they're born in. I believe in the American dream, but also that despite all we can do to create new high-paying jobs or cut unemployment, that for too many of our families, too many of our children, a future of economic security and prosperity and safety is still simply too far out of reach. I know that for too many of our families struggling to break generational poverty, the American dream will simply not come true without our leadership. And that's why I'm so proud to be here with each and every one of you in support of the My Brother's Keeper Community Challenge. The President's asked for all of us to come together over the next several weeks and come up with our action plan as to how we're going to move forward. This development, we've been in the vanguard, the city of Columbia has, and we're very proud that we've been helping shape the national debate on how this innovative effort is going to be delivered. We're proud to be joined by leaders in our private sector, leaders from every government here in the Midlands, leaders from all of our fantastic school districts here, again, present and accounted for, to say this is important to us, that we will lead and we will use Columbia, Richland County as a shining light to show people what is possible in this great country that we all call home. Proud to be joined again by so many of my colleagues. I call them colleagues, each and every one of them are friends. It's my pleasure to introduce you to my friend Aaron Bishop, the chairman of Richland School District 1 for comment.
Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you, Mayor Benjamin, for this opportunity. And I stand here in a level of appreciation to be amongst my peers and leaders of the city of Columbia. And this is exactly what Columbia requires of us. It requires us to come together as leaders for a community solution. As I stand here representing Richland 1 as chairman, I stand here representing 7 leaders of Richland School District 1 who works cohesively with our superintendent, Mrs. Dr. Cash Green. As we are here, we're here to make sure we lend our support to a community situation that expands beyond the geography lines of Columbia. Because when we look at this situation, it's just not something that involves the White House, the Coffee House, the church house or the schoolhouse, but it includes the house that every African American young male is coming up in. And so as we present this as a priority for our leadership to come together, we look at several statistics. One statistic shows you that 1 out of every 3 African American males are employed, which means 2/3 of African American males don't have jobs. When you look at also another statistic, got little under 50%, which is 43% of the graduates of Richland I or any school in the nation cannot find employment. When you look at the graduation rates, it says that 3/4 of 73% has only had an opportunity to get an interview without a job. So as we sit here today, we're here to bring solutions. This is about bringing solutions to the City of Columbia as we come together on one accord. We thank you for your attention, but we also appreciate your action steps. So as we come together with Richland I, Richland II, the city and the county, we stand united to show that we're coming here with a solution. Even this very building we are in was a community effort. And so therefore we have one more item on the table, which is success of African American males in the City of Columbia under the My Brother's Keeper initiative. I thank you for your time and thank you for this platform.
And now we're going to hear from Commissioner James Manning of Richland School District 2.
Thank you. I also stand here in awe of the leaders that we have here today that represent the different facets of our community, school boards, county, City of Columbia, and all of the leaders that are here to move beyond talk to action. So often we talk about the problems that we have in our society, particularly with our children, who are the foundation upon which everything else that we have and who we will be is built upon. But the time to take action, and each of us takes action in our own individual communities, but to bring this together with everybody working together to make a difference is truly inspiring. Richland District 2, on behalf of my board, on behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Deborah Ham, and the others that are represented, looks forward to being part of the solution for our young folks so that they have a future and they see what that future can be and that we take them across the finish line. So thank you, Mayor Benjamin, and everyone else that's here for being part of this initiative, and we look forward to the actionable steps for the future of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Manning. And lastly, we're going to have words from our friend, the Chairman of the Richland County Council, Norman Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor Benjamin. As Chairman of Richland County Council, my colleagues applaud the effort we are doing with the Mayor for My Brother's Keeper. Councilman Washington, as your administrator, and other staff members here from Richland County Council. It's very important. We have to meet with all facets, everyone that's involved. Recently, I met with some of the gangs in Richland County and the City of Columbia, the gang leaders also, to get them involved to understand the problems we're having. We cannot accept or not deal with those factors also. We have to include everyone. And I applaud you for the work you're doing. We're working together to bring this effort so we can at least improve relationships, deal with our youth, make sure they have the tools to move forward and be successful and be vital to our economy and Richland County and the City of Columbia. Again, I thank you for your efforts, and we will work diligently to help to move this forward. Thanks again.
I will tell y'all, to have the press conference going on and to have screaming children and voices in the background, it's encouraging. I mean, it's actually what you want to hear because these are our babies who are getting access to a world-class children's museum right here in downtown Columbia here in Richland County. And that's what we want. We want to hear our children learning and being nurtured and being parented. And that's what this is all about, recognizing that we're talking about a comprehensive approach in which we all bear some significant responsibility that helps understand that every child is our child, that we all have responsibility for each other, that we are indeed our brother's keeper. Some of the statistics that the Reverend Bishop shared are all too real. Still, not 860,000 South Carolinians, almost 20% of our state population living in poverty. Here in Columbia, over 24% of our citizens live in poverty, and nearly a quarter of them are children. And I want to use this as another opportunity to share my personal position, and one that I'm asking City Council and our city staff to take a look at over the next several weeks. We recognize that the federal minimum wage has not been raised in a significant period of time. It's not kept up with the cost of living and the cost of inflation. I believe that efforts to raise our federal minimum wage to $10.10 an hour are long overdue. We'll be asking city staff to take that into consideration as we go through our class and comp study to begin again to raise millions more Americans out of poverty all across this great country. Just simply believing that the minimum wage of $7.25 is insufficient, and that if we can talk the talk, but if we're serious about it, we have to walk the walk as a city as well. Glad to have you all here. Happy to field any questions, and certainly on some of these major issues that we're going to be tackling. Norman and James and Aaron and I are amongst the leaders, but we are not the subject matter experts. We are blessed to have several of the subject matter experts behind us here, and I do want to thank Dr. Ham and Dr. Davis and Dr. Cash Green and all the leadership from our school districts that are here, and our senior assistant city manager, Allison Baker, and my colleague and friend and mentor, Sam Davis from City Council, along with just a comprehensive group of men and women who are dedicated to the proposition that we can do better, and that each and every one of our children has some very special gifts to offer this world. It's up to us, however, to help them find those gifts and to nurture them into being into living up to their promise. So I'll stop there. Be happy to field any questions. And again, if you have any questions, anyone who's behind me, you feel free to chime in and try and field them as well. Questions? All right. I'll take that as a sign that we were comprehensive in our approach, and we're going to slip right into the summit, and you guys are welcome to join us there for some time as well. Thank you. May God bless you and keep you. Thank you so much for being here.